Well, you know, I'd been thinking about the Pygmalion myth, about the sculptor who, the myth, just for those of you for whom Greek mythology is very far away, it's about a sculptor who starts sculpting this woman, and as he sculpts her out of marble, she begins to feel very real to him, and when he finishes, he realizes that he's in love with her, and he can't stop looking at her. He wants to be with her, and he prays to the gods that they make her real, and they do. So I've been thinking about that, and you know, what does it say about us psychologically that that story has come down to us, and you know, so many people have adapted it, and it's been sort of more culturally resonant than other myths, maybe. And I thought about my own experience in relationships, and then, you know, one day woke up with the spark of this in my head. You know, I think it felt a little bit like a commune or something, you know, like where everybody pitches in and rolls up their sleeves, and, you know, where we were making this thing together as a group, and everyone from, you know, hair and makeup to costumes to lighting to, you know, the guy who was the tech guy on set. You know, I felt like we all had a common purpose, and that, you know, whether I was writing or acting or, you know, helping out in another way, that it all felt sort of part of one creative urge. You know, I expected it to be really difficult, that it would be hard to lose myself because I wrote it, but it was actually a lot easier than I thought. You know, you've done a lot of your homework already, just having written it. You know the backstory, you feel like you understand where the character is coming from. You know, once I got over the first kind of feeling of self-consciousness, it was a joy. I wrote the first 5 pages or something and showed it to Paul, and he asked if I was writing it for us. And it hadn't occurred to me. I was so sort of taken by my inspiration that it hadn't even crossed my mind who might play these people. But as soon as he said it, it became like completely clear to me that that's what I was doing. And then it was sort of a matter of putting that out of my head as I continued to write, because I think the temptation as an actor can be to like write a really juicy scene for yourself, but I was trying to let the characters speak for themselves and the story speak for itself. Jonathan and Valerie were our first choice of director from the very start. They were people that I thought of while I was writing, and you know, they're able, you can see it in their first movie, they're able to balance different tones really delicately and intelligently. You know, in the middle of Little Miss Sunshine, you have someone die, and yet the movie still remains a comedy, and that's a real directorial feat. And I knew that this movie was going to have a lot of twists and turns and unexpected things and a lot of emotions that might feel like they couldn't all fit in the same movie. So I felt like I needed someone like them to direct it. So, you know, people told us that it might be futile to send it to them because they were being offered such huge budget things and big movies with big movie stars, and we sent it to them anyways, and you know, they just really responded to it. I think it spoke to them personally, and then we collaborated for like 9 months with me rewriting the script to their notes. You know, it felt really natural. Afterwards, I kind of said to Paul, like, how does one person do this job? It feels like, you know, it's so much work that it's good to watch them. And also, they're just, like, amazing collaborators. It's like watching one organism. It was so much fun to work with Paul. You know, we've worked together before. I think, you know, he is my best tool in terms of my work always, even when we're not working together. Just having him to bounce ideas off of and problems, and having that person at home who really understands what I'm going through. You know, I think we could get pretty testy on the car ride home, though. You know, after a long day of work, things like what we're gonna have for dinner or who gets to drive suddenly seem really important.